Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to settle in for this one because what you're about to hear isn't just messy. It's a truly legendary picture of two queens, one king, and enough bad blood to fill an entire season of Love and Hip Hop in one night. Yes, you heard correctly. Remy Ma and Claressa Shields didn't just talk to each other, they actually threw hands, and the footage is so graphic that it should really have a parental advisory sticker. What began as a side-eye turned into a full-fledged WWE cage match, right there in front of cameras, security guards, and a room full of gasping fans who weren't sure whether to call TMZ or 911. This violent meltdown was caused by jealousy, betrayal, or a specific ring that Papoose allegedly promised to Claressa behind Ray's back. Well, buckle up because we're going to delve into every leaked punch, shocking scream, and exposed betrayal that brought two powerful people to their knees. Isn't just a scandal, this is history. Let's get started. As they say, all's fair in Love and Hip Hop. But after that night, we might need to rewrite that rule as well until Remy Ma and Claressa Shields actually punch Papoose. Trust me, people, it wasn't just a spicy Instagram rant or a pointless subtweet war. Let's go back a little. On one side, we have Remy Ma, the Bronx's own rap queen, who was once praised for her loyalty, her bars, and, let's face it, her ability to turn small things into big fights. She once said, "I don't fight fair, I fight to win." Apparently, she wasn't lying. On the other side, we have Claressa Shields, the Olympic boxing champion and self-proclaimed GWAT, greatest woman of all time, who is now the new object of Papoose's messy affections. Yes, Papoose, the man who held Remy endured more public scandals and loyalty tests than the Amore Marathon, but our anonymous tea leakers claim that loyalty expired, and Claressa Shields was in the front row to witness the fallout. It all began innocently enough, at a glamorous industry event with champagne flowing and fake smiles stretching across actual enemies. According to witnesses, Remy entered the room looking like a storm ready to erupt, her eyes darting straight to a corner where Claressa and Papoose were standing just too close for comfort. If you were expecting Remy to play it cool and continue pushing, think again. According to a leaked voice memo, Remy allegedly beelined for the couple's heels, clacking like gunshots across the marble floor. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there staring down at Claressa like a final boss in Mortal Kombat. Claressa, being Claressa, didn't back down either. Homegirl dared to smirk, and before a single hand was thrown, the words cut first. Yes, someone was already recording because the industry never sleeps. One witness, who we'll call Source C for dramatic effect, claims, "Man, it was like time froze. Remy just lunged without hesitation. Like, 1 second, Claressa was sipping her champagne, and the next second the flute was airborne and fists were flying." Claressa allegedly responded, "At least I'm not an expired mixtape living off jail sympathy." Ouch! You could practically hear the scratching of the record in this room as every celebrity. As the brawl finally began to be torn apart by security and organizers, Remy was heard yelling across the room, "You can have him! He isn't even worth it!" The crowd was yelling, phones were in the air, and security was slipping all over the spilled champagne, trying to break it up and standing awkwardly to the side. The so-called celebrity security insider showed Remy grabbing a chunk of Clarissa's wig, while Claressa swung back with the force of a championship boxer, landing a clean hit square on Remy's cheek, to which, claiming to have a bloodied lip, Claressa retorted, "Oh, believe me, I already do." Mic dropped, and the room exploded again, security dragging both women out as paparazzi camera flashes lit up the night like a 4th of July parade. But wait, you thought that was the end? Oh no, besties. Because the real fallout, lawsuits, leaked footage, and massive betrayals were just getting started. If you thought the actual fight was bad, you haven't even begun to imagine the chaos that erupted afterward. Because the moment Remy Ma and Claressa Shields were dragged out by with security dripping sweat and attitude, the real war moved online. And believe me, it got worse than anyone could have imagined. First, anonymous insiders, who, let's face it, were probably interns, started sending shady blog screenshots, voice notes, and even security camera footage from the event. One particularly grainy clip showed Papoose trying awkwardly to pull Claressa away from Remy Ma, only to get elbowed in the face. Yes, Papoose was caught astray through poetic justice. Perhaps, but in the eyes of the public, it was the end. Anonymous sources, I mean, sources who wouldn't reveal their identities even if you paid them $1 million started speculating to gossip websites that it wasn't just a drunken altercation, but rather the culmination of months, if not years, of jealousy, betrayal, and a behind-closed-door rendezvous. One so-called family friend told a blog, Papoose and Claressa had been teasing each other for a minute, and Remy didn't want to think that tonight was just the last nail in the coffin. Imagine standing by someone through court dates, jail time, and numerous scandals, only to get your A-heart broke on a marble floor in front of 200 flashing cameras, and the internet was consuming this catastrophe. Within hours, memes appeared online, one of which featured Claressa in boxing gloves standing over a photoshopped Remy Ma lying on the ground, dazed and saying, "Round one goes to me, sis." Another meme featured Papoose in the background with the caption, "Bro just wanted some chicken wings, and now he's part of World War II." In the same time, phony witnesses who dubiously lacked any video evidence were spreading across the country within a day, yet a lot of vivid imagination started to emerge from the woodwork. One insider claimed that before the fight even started, Claressa had been openly taunting Remy by showing off a diamond bracelet that Papoose allegedly gave her. Another insider said that earlier in the evening, Remy had confronted Claressa backstage, but was intimidated by security. But once the cameras started rolling, chaos broke out. Then came the pièce de résistance, a purportedly leaked group chat among Papoose's close friends, in which he confessed to being both confused and happy about his relationship with Claressa. The public's reaction was savage, and Remy Ma's fans, known affectionately as Reminators, flooded social media with prayerful posts and a few poorly edited deep fakes that showed Remy knocking out Claressa in fictitious rematches. Claressa's fans, on the other hand, doubled down, accusing Remy of being pressed and washed up, portraying Claressa as the victorious underdog who finally took her crown and her man. Even celebrities couldn't help but jump in on the fad. Joe posted a cryptic tweet that said, "Loyalty is rare. Watch who's standing next to you when the storm hits," which everyone assumed it was a jab at Papoose and Cardi B, always the messy queen, so she just tweeted 3 popcorn emojis and let the internet do the rest. Then, because the universe has a sick sense of humor, footage from a private after-party where Claressa was allegedly seen boasting about winning 2 rings in one night, one on her finger, and one that used to be Ray's heart, surfaced. Clearly, Claressa's team hurried to repair the damage, claiming her remarks were taken out of context, but by that point, the public had already established that Claressa wasn't just a champion in the ring, who publicly destroyed Remy Ma's dignity, pride, and relationship. Meanwhile, Remy Ma remained suspiciously silent, with no Instagram posts, dubious tweets, or diss tracks. However, people close to her said she was processing everything and thinking about her legal options, especially in light of the injuries she allegedly sustained during the altercation. Yes, you read correctly. The rumors on the street are that Ray's team is getting ready to sue Claressa for assault, emotional distress, public defamation, and who knows what else. Additionally, leaked emails indicate that security was alerted beforehand to the tension between the two women, but failed to stop the fight. So please, drumroll, there may be a lot of lawsuits coming up soon, including civil suits, criminal complaints, and public relations nightmares. In other words, things are going to get so messy that even Maury Povich would have to politely excuse himself. And let's not forget the money. Remy Ma was reportedly close to signing a multi-million-dollar brand partnership before this fiasco blew up her image like a cheap firework. Now, brands are ghosting her more severely than a bad Tinder date, and Claressa's management is attempting to turn the incident into a publicity victory. But sources claim that some sponsors are reconsidering their association with violent behavior because, while knocking out people in a ring is apparently acceptable, knocking out rappers at cocktail parties is not exactly brand-friendly behavior. And standing in the middle of this dumpster fire, poor, confused, and regretting everything, Papoose, who has reportedly been quietly trying to make amends with both women behind closed doors, is a man who is living proof that sometimes having 2 women in your life is more of a nightmare than a fantasy. Snatched and reputations were trampled underfoot like cheap carpet, but the real bombs began to drop not on Twitter or TikTok, but in the cold, unforgiving hands of the legal system, within 48 hours of the footage leaking. Remy Ma's team formally filed preliminary paperwork for an assault lawsuit against Claressa Shields. Yes, full government names, lawyers involved, and court dates being discussed in private in the back rooms of law firms. according to sources. Close to Remy, she is seeking damages for both emotional distress and monetary losses, in addition to physical injuries, including bruised cheekbones and sprained wrists. Claressa wasn't exactly sitting pretty either, as several brands that once hailed her as a role model were now reconsidering their decision, and one energy drink company reportedly paused her endorsement. Remember that brand deal Remy was about to secure that vaporized like it never existed? Apparently, a major fashion label that was rumored to be in the high six figures pulled out hours after seeing Remy's face trending for all the wrong reasons. Other sponsorships, collaborations, and even a potential Netflix documentary deal were also snatched away. It turns out that Remy Ma's team is investigating negligence claims against the event organizers who hosted the party where the brawl occurred, accusing them of failing to provide adequate security despite known tensions between Remy and Claressa. Furthermore, emails began to leak because, in 2025, nothing stays secret, not even poorly worded internal warnings. In addition, a sporting goods brand discreetly removed her image from their website. Papoose, the original center of all this drama, has been trying to keep his head down. According to sources, he has been keeping quiet and refusing to take sides in public. But in private, the tea is hotter, according to yet another close friend of a cousin. Papoose has been reaching out to Remy and Claressa separately in an attempt to defuse the situation. It was flagged at the event, discussed, and ignored, which now makes the organizers appear not only incompetent, but possibly liable for the entire bloody circus that unfolded. According to this, he has been apologizing profusely to Remy while maintaining a complicated friendship with Claressa. Translation, he's trying to have it both ways, and that bakery is burning down quickly. The fans have become vicious, and Papoose's Instagram comments are a dumpster fire, with people calling him a snake, a traitor, and a coward, and memes of him juggling two phones labeled wife and side chick going viral within minutes. Even fans who aren't on either side are pleading with him to just choose one, or at least choose a therapist. Meanwhile, Remy Ma's publicist issued a statement that, while it sounded professional on the surface, was pure scorched earth shade. Underneath it, it read, "Allow short-term diversions to divert her from her mission." Her manager posted a note saying, "Claressa regrets that emotions escalated, but remains proud to stand up for herself in the face of public disrespect," which, if you read between the lines, essentially says, "Yeah, I clocked her, and I'd do it again." I'm not sure what Claressa's camp is trying to do to salvage her image, but it's a desperate attempt to hide it behind a PR statement. DMs purportedly depicted Claressa and Papoose continuing to communicate in spite of the fallout messages, such as, "Sorry it went down like that. I still got mad love for you." Screenshots exploded on all major gossip blogs within hours, and new hashtags appeared. "You Remy deserved better. Ponchos Papos plays too much. Claressa caught slipping," and if you thought fans were furious before, multiply that by 10 petitions calling for brands to drop Claressa completely. Meanwhile, Remy Ma's supporters demanded that she release a diss track and terminate her career, and rumors even suggested that Remy had visited the studio within 24 hours of leaving the emergency room because, let's face it, nothing he heals. A bruised ego like a savage 16 bars. Behind the scenes, legal teams for both women were preparing for a protracted battle. They were allegedly gathering witness lists, requesting security footage, and preparing for a messy televised trial. Settlements aren't reached quickly because, let's face it, with this much public attention, neither Remy Ma nor Claressa Shields can afford to just brush it under the rug, especially when the world is clamoring for updates as if it's the next season of Power. The saddest part of all three of these former rulers is that they are now in a feud. As of right now, no one is winning, no one is clean, and no one's career is safe. So the next time you see someone posting relationship goals memes about loyalty and forgiveness, remember this night. Remember Remy and Claressa's fight. And keep in mind that sometimes the biggest battles aren't fought in the ring or the booth. Loyalty's image is now entangled in a scandal so messy that even if they win the lawsuits, they've already lost the most important thing: public trust. If there's one thing this story has taught us, it's that real life is messier, bloodier, and far more entertaining than reality shows. Trust me, the next episode is just one poor choice away, and there you have it, People. The bloody, brutal, and outright unbelievable story of Remy Ma and Claressa Shields fighting over Papoose and setting the internet on fire. The real question is, though, who do you think is fighting for her dignity? Remy Ma, the heartbroken queen, or Claressa Shields, the new champion, refuse to back down. And what about Papoose? Is he a victim caught in the crossfire, or the real puppet master pulling the strings? This battle is far from over, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Which team are you on? Team Remy, Team Claressa, or Team They All Need Therapy? Make sure to hit the like button if you believe this scandal is the most outrageous thing that has happened in 2025. Delivered, but still subscribed.